Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing the Nomad, what is this? It is like the Hikari Japanese palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I will have the actual name in the description, but I think it's the Hikari palette from Nomad. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, it's a nice, cute little pastel palette. I haven't tried anything from Nomad Cosmetics before. I've been interested in the brand. This palette looked really pretty. I've been kind of on a pastel kick, so I will swatch it and we'll do an eye look and see what we think. So yeah, if that sounds good, definitely stick around. Make sure you are subscribed. And yeah, if you want to see my thoughts on this palette, then just keep on. So we're going to go into swatches. I took my watch off. I really should start taking it off the night before, but I always forget. So we're going to swatch right here. I will try and say the names the best I can. It looks like we've got a matte row, a satin row, and a shimmer row. So I'm just going to go across. Like I said, I'm probably going to butcher these names. So I will probably, if I can say them, I'll say them. If not, I will just tell you what the color is, and obviously you'll see it on my arm. So let's just, the first one is Kawaii. I feel bad rubbing my finger in here because there's cute little cats. Takenko Zoku. That's not even close, I bet. It's a matte purple. Mel Tea Room. These are pretty pigmented. I'm impressed with the pigmentation so far. Kakigori. Mike lived in Japan when he was little for like 5 years, so he could probably say some of these. There is a matte gray. Visual K-E-I. It's a matte gray. Okay, so those are the 5 mattes. Let's get into the satins. Then we have Lolita. That's pretty. Now is Forever. Hanami. That one barely shows up. G-Y-A-R-U is this next shade. Kori Ninji is a light gray. Okay, now we're getting into the shimmers. Decora, I think is how you say that. Zaku Zaku. That one, let me swatch that one again. That's a very light shimmery yellow. So this is the middle purple. I'm not even gonna attempt it. Then we have Moshi Moshi, which is like a minty green almost. These seem very sheer, almost like a topper. Some of these, yeah, like that one. It's building up. I can see more of a green hue. The purples and the purple and the pink are obviously a little more pigmented. And then Otaku, it's the last shimmer, last shade. It's a very pale pink. It's probably, let me swatch it twice here. Okay, so there we have the palette. And it's one of those you could probably put like even a satin down and then put the shimmer on top to kind of give it a base. But there is the palette. So yeah, let me clean up my arm and we're gonna jump into a look. So this time I went ahead and did this eye off camera just to kind of play with it. I go back and forth with new palettes doing it this way. So we're gonna do this eye. We're gonna try and make this eye look like this eye. I really wasn't sure what I was gonna do, so I was playing around with it a little bit beforehand, so I don't want to break it. Okay, so here's the palette one more time. I'm probably going to just point to shades unless I'm confident I can say it. So I went ahead and primed my eyelid. I'm using the Ofra. This is just an eye primer. It's not bad. This is only the second time or third time that I've used that primer, but I don't hate it. The only shade that I didn't use from this palette, excuse me, I went into the Too Faced Life's a Festival. Now I can't talk. I used Unicorn Tears, the highlight shade under both brows, just because there's not a really good brow bone shade. I mean, you could probably use this light pink one. It's very, very sheer, which I may go in with a little bit of that just because it's real sparkly, but other than that, I'm only using this palette. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna go in with my Sigma E25. I use this all the time. Okay, and we're gonna start off with the purple, the matte purple on the top. I will say these are very powdery, but the pigmentation is pretty good. I only have a gripe about one shade, so that's so far, and that I don't think is bad. So we're going to take that in the outer corner up past the crease. I take mine pretty far just because my eyes are hooded. I want to be able to see the color, so we're just doing kind of a pastel-y rainbow eye, and I feel like these blend out really well. Like there's not a lighter purple to, I mean, these are pastel to begin with, but it blends out pretty good, so you almost don't need one. And then I'm gonna go in with a smaller, this is a Lavish, just an eye shader, it's just a skinnier one. I'm gonna go in with Lolita. It's kind of a satiny color, but it is the darker pink. And then we'll blend it out with the lighter pink. Now the thing to remember when you're doing rainbow eyes so that they don't end up muddy is kind of how colors, I try to think about how colors are made, because I've kind of gone in not really thinking about that, and then it kind of gets muddy. So like purple is a mixture of red and blue, and pink is obviously red and white, so transitioning them into colors that they're compatible with helps. So I'm going to go in, I don't know how to say this lighter pink, that same brush, and I'm just using my, I have my color switch. There's also a towel in my lap. Sometimes I get lazy and just use the towel, and then cleaned it off, and then like I said, the purple blends itself out pretty well. And then I'm going to go in with Kwai, which is the orange. Making sure I'm holding it in the frame, because that's always helpful. Again, orange is red and yellow. So orange should blend into the pink relatively okay. I ran into this problem with the Jeffree Star, trying to do a similar look using mint green, and because green and going into purple and pink wasn't a good time. So I try to remember my color theory when I'm doing rainbow eyes, and that's helped quite a lot. So the next color we're going to use is the only color I don't really like so far in the palette, and this is this Melty Room, and it's just not super pigmented. Now I could probably go in with some, I mean, it has some pigmentation, you can see it, it's just not the most, but it is a pastel yellow, so I don't hate it. I'm going to take that all the way down the tear duct, kind of going around a little bit, just so we got a little bit of a base. But yeah, like it wouldn't hurt my feelings if this yellow was a little bit more pigmented. Like this I think would be a good blending out shade if there was a darker yellow in this yellow, but again, it is a pastel palette. So we're going to go back in with a little bit of the orange just to kind of blend that into the yellow. We're pretty blended, so okay. So then I'm going to go in with a little bit of Now Is Forever, which is a satin like turquoisey shade, just on a flat Morphe. What is this? M170-2. Again, these are there's a little kick up in the pan, but it's not bad. And I'm just using this so that there's a base, because the shimmers are a little sheer. So I just want it to read turquoise or mint. This isn't really turquoise. I'm a little bit tired. I want it to read mint, so I'm putting this down as a base. And then I'm going to go in with just my NYX glitter primer. And this may not be necessary. These shimmers are a little bit chunky, so I just want to give it something to stick to. It's never a bad idea, even if you don't need it. So then I'm going to go in with Moshi Moshi, which is the like almost limey shimmer. And again, these are chunky, but they're pretty. So you can see there's quite a bit of crumble. I don't know if you can tell. See how chunky are they? But they're pretty because this, I think this eye looks really good. I don't mind that they're crumbly. Like you can probably see that falling off on my face. I'll go in with a brush and just clean up the fallout. But yeah, I would definitely recommend concealer, some sort of a glitter primer, because as chunky as these are, you're going to have a lot easier of a time. Like I said, chunky shimmers do not bother me at all. Like I said, I think it's really pretty. I am glad I put that other color underneath. Morphe has some chunky shimmers. I'm going to take a little bit more of the glitter primer. I forgot to take it into the tear duct, like inner corner up a little bit. Okay. Because I'm going to go in now with the yellow shimmer on the bottom. And we're going to put that in the inner corner. And I'm going to take it up just because that yellow is so light. I'm going to take it up, almost touching the orange. So that is why I put the glitter primer all over, just so that would have something to adhere to. So I just use somewhat of a fluffy brush, and because it's so chunky, it just kind of dusts away. So if you're worried about the fallout, you could always do, like there's glitter all over me and my desk. So if you're worried about your base, I would just do your eyes first. But like for me, I just brush off. There's a little residual glitter on my face. It doesn't really bother me. Okay, and then we're going to take that same little smaller blending brush, and I did just a little bit of this dark gray just right here on the bottom in the outer corner, just to deepen it up a smidge. And then I went in with just a touch more of the purple just to blend that out. I didn't use a lot, just enough that it's a little bit deeper in the outer corner, which I'm assuming is why that gray is in there. But yeah, not a lot, just a little bit. And then this is a Jessup just smudger brush. Jessup brushes, you can get them on Amazon. They're really cheap. I'm gonna go back in with this purple shade. We're gonna do the lower lash line. And again, this is going to be a base because we're going to put a shimmer on top. The purple shimmer probably doesn't need one because it's a little bit darker. I got powder in my eye. But I just wanted to make sure. So this bright purple shimmer, same brush. I just cleaned it off. And we're going to put that all over the bottom. And then because I'm crazy and I want it to be super glittery, I'm going to go in with a little bit of this light pink shimmer on the end. Like it almost, there it goes. Yeah, light pink one there. Depending on how the light hits it, it almost doesn't even read pink. So you could probably put a little bit of that under the brow bone if you wanted to. I do like that they included a light gray and a dark gray just so you have some deepening up options. Okay. So there we go. That pink shade is not necessary. I just wanted to try another color. Okay, so I am going to grab some sort of a colored liner. I do have a purple. I have ColourPop. What is this? Crybaby. It's like a lavender. And I'm going to throw that in the waterline. If it'll stick. It's such a light shade, it's hard to... Is that even pulling? Color. My eyes are running a lot today, so I don't know how much of that's actually going into the waterline. Maybe a tiny bit. Okay. I have a white, but I don't want to go in with another one because it's just going to make them run more. Okay, so I am going to throw a wing on and mascara and some sort of a lip color, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So this is the finished look. I did forget to do it on camera. I did it on this eye off camera. Well, I did obviously both eyes off camera, but I used a little bit of this shade in between the green and the outer corner. So that's what that color that you're seeing there is. I forgot to do it on camera. I realized after I went off, I was like, oh, that's why this eye looked a little different, but that's the only thing that you didn't see. For liner, it's just my Stila Stay All Day. Mascara, I went in with one coat of the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, and then I did a second coat with the Tarte Tartiest mascara, and then curled them. They're actually curling a little bit. I have to curl them and then curl them again. I didn't feel like putting on a false lash. I did a little bit of Urban Decay's Heavy Metal in Distortion just on top of the liner, just because I wanted it to be a little bit more sparkly. And then for lips, I have ColourPop's, there's a fly in here. This is from the Disney Designer Princess Collection. This is the Cinderella shade. And then I put a little bit of Fenty's Diamond Milk on top of it. I never wear lip gloss. Who am I? So this is the finished look. I like this palette. Let's look at it one more time. Again, the only gripe is I wish this was maybe just a hair darker. I mean, I could almost get rid of this shade and then have a darker yellow and this yellow. But that is my only complaint. The other shades are pigmented. I will say the shimmers, other than maybe the purples, the yellow, the green, and the pink are very sheer. So like I just put a color underneath, went in with a glitter primer, worked really good. It's reading very like mint. So yeah, I like this palette a lot. Again, this is the Nomad. I think it's Hikari. I will spell it out. It's in Japanese, so, but I believe that's what the name of this palette is. I will leave a link for the palette down below. I really like it. Again, this is my first time trying Nomad Cosmetics. I was kind of on a pastel kick, so yeah, I think it turned out really, really pretty. I like it a lot. If you have any questions for me, leave them down below. If you would like me to do some more pastel looks, I can. I have this pastel palette and then like 2 other ones. So if you want me to kind of critique my pastel palettes, I could do that too. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the finished look. Make sure you subscribe before you leave, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day, and hopefully I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, everyone.